Hi, my name is Ellie. I'm one half of Tough Souls and I like to walk. So whether you're brand new to Tough Souls or have been following for a while, you might know that Carl and I like to make lists of trails that we want to do each summer. And so while this isn't as big a list as the original National Waymarked Trails list that we worked our way through, or as long and extensive as all of the mountains I climbed last summer, I do have a little bit of a list of trails that I would like to get done in the coming months. And I think you'll see why once I start to share them. So yeah, these are the 5 trails that I want to walk the summer of 2024 in Ireland. And yes, there are still some trails that I have yet to walk in Ireland, it seems. Okay, so number 1 is the Miners' Way. And before you go, wait, Ellie, you and Carl walked the Miners' Way. We have walked the Miners' Way in Roscommon. The Miners' Way that I want to walk is through Glendalough and Glendasan in Wicklow. So this is a trail that I think brings you through several of the different kind of mining villages, settlements, areas of those 2 valleys, because while Glendalough is incredibly famous for the natural beauty of the land, it was a big mining area. I think back during the World Wars, they mined iron, metal there. So it was a huge export for the area. So Glendalough, Glenmalure, maybe even Glendasan, that region of Wicklow has a 19-kilometre trail, a linear trail called the Miners' Way. It's been on my radar for a while. It's been on my radar for several years, and I think recently it's had even more work done to it. I'm not entirely sure, maybe it's just being talked about more, but it's popping up in different places for me. So that brought it even more to the forefront of my mind and solidified its place on this list. Number 2 is the Bangor Trail in North Mayo. I've also heard it referred to as the Bangor Trail. So this is a roughly 25-kilometre trail through the Ballycroy National Park, or Wild Neffin National Park, which is one of the most remote places that you can get to in Ireland. And the definition of remote here is the furthest away from a road. So this trail has been, Carl and I have known about it since I'd say 2018, maybe even 2017. And it's not a National Waymarked Trail officially. I don't know why, but it is apparently a really fantastic kind of wilderness trail. So you start in the town of Bangor and you walk south all the way down to the Letterkean Bothy car park. I'm not sure if it goes further than that, or if that's the end point. The tricky thing about this trail is I either need to do it now when the midges aren't too bad, or I have to wait until September, the very end of the season, because anyone who has done a lot of hiking in Mayo knows that the midges in that bog are so bad. And if you don't know what midges are, they're like tiny mosquitoes. It's not quite an accurate description, but tiny biting bugs, tiny flying biting bugs that just drive you crazy. Even when Carl and I walked the Western Way, which goes through the same area, I was eaten alive and my ears were swollen from me scratching them, and then the histamine, and yeah, anyway. I'm packing the antihistamines whenever I do that trail, but I either need to get out ASAP or wait until the end of the summer. But either way, maybe I'll do it in the winter. Maybe this will be a winter overnight camp for me. I don't do many winter camps, but who knows? That trail, no matter what time of year, is happening this year. Trail number 3 is the Avonmore Way. I think this might be the shortest trail on my list, coming in at 12k. It's another linear trail, and it's also in Wicklow. And it takes in the suspension bridge across, it's not the Samuel Beckett suspension bridge. It's got a similar sort of name. Basically, this river was dividing kind of 2 sections of Wicklow, and there wasn't a footbridge across it. And so by having this bridge installed, it links loads of foot trails and biking trails and just like on foot pedestrian access. I know that Brian Fennell, who has had many jobs in the years that I've known him, but is now currently the recreation team lead for Quilcha. Back when he was Oro of Wicklow, he was instrumental in making that bridge happen. And the longer I'm in this space of walking trails and outdoors in Ireland, and the more I become friends with the people who create these trails and make these things happen. Like Carl and I were already excited when we'd see an info board or a bench or whatever, but now it adds an extra layer of like really deep appreciation and also like excitement to see the years of work that I know somebody else put in, like coming together and creating a trail. So I'm pretty sure the Avonmore Way is supposed to be beautiful. I know it uses this bridge, and yeah, that's a big draw for me. Because it's 12k, I haven't decided if it's going to be a case where I do an out and back and I walk it both ways, I only have to park at one end, rounding up to 24k, or if I'll find some other way of getting back to the start, or public transport, or whatever way we swing it. But I'm looking forward to that one. Okay, trail number 4 on the list is the Boyne Valley Camino. The Camino is such a huge phenomenon in Ireland. And I know the Camino refers to most of the walking routes in continental Europe, specifically through Spain to Santiago de Compostela, or Finisterre, or wherever you like to finish. But a lot of Irish people go and walk the Camino. And the Camino normally means the Camino Frances. And I really, really understand why, because you've got close to guaranteed weather. It's going to be warmer and drier than Ireland. Defined stages with accommodation that is all pretty reasonably priced. So Carl and I have done the Camino del Norte. We walked from Biarritz in France. And so we experienced firsthand how wonderful that can be. And so it's been really interesting seeing trails in Ireland go back and research different areas, find their connections to that kind of religious pilgrimage in Spain, and then building their own route in their area. So I know that the Boyne Valley Camino brings you to a few different monastic areas. When I looked it up, it looked really, really, really interesting. Like, it didn't just kind of look like they picked the name for the click for the clicks or for the easily transmitted getting it out there dissemination. It does look like it has a lot of monastic pilgrimage, religious things along the way. And while not personally religious, I do deeply appreciate the history that goes into a lot of that, like the high crosses and stuff. So this one is also looped. I think it's the only trail on the list that's looped. So big win for that alone. Yeah, it's just been on the radar for a while. So that I can walk at any time this summer, hopefully. I would love some sunshine. And finally, we have St. Kevin's Way in Wicklow. So our final trail and our third trail in Wicklow. St. Kevin's Way, I've done lots of sections of it, never documented it, never done the whole thing. St. Kevin is a particularly big saint in the Wicklow area. So it's said that he came through Wicklow along this route to Glendalough, where he created his monastic city and spent the rest of his life. And so there are 2 different start points. You have Hollywood and you have Valley Mount, I think. And these supposedly are just where the 2 different pilgrim paths of people coming on pilgrimage to Glendalough, to either St. Kevin or St. Kevin's tomb, the routes that they would have taken in. And so they join. And apparently along the trail, you can still see some of the old cobblestones that would have marked this ancient pilgrimage route. So lots of history to unpack there. And I noticed as a pilgrim's way, like marked the way it is currently now. It's existed for quite some time. So I've come across it on many other adventures, but I've never done the whole thing itself. So I'm really excited to walk that trail. It's looking at about 26 to 29 kilometers, depending on, I guess, your route, and like if you start Hollywood or Ballymount and how you go. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to doing that one. So those are the 5 trails that I definitely want to get done in 2024, in Ireland at least. If you have any trails that are on your definite to hit list this year, let me know in the comments below. If there are any trails that you think that I should definitely do that I haven't done yet, also let me know. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Bye. I'd actually meant to say in the video that I had planned on filming outside, but being April in Ireland, well, like spring is definitely here, it's on the way. Last weekend was glorious, it was amazing. But today I had hailstones, like hard, sore hailstones, and a lot of rain, and a lot of just wild weather in general. So, indoor filming it was. I want to say a huge thank you to everyone who supports us on Patreon. It really means a lot. Mostly it just helps pay for the petrol to get to the different trails to walk. So that alone is very valuable. And yeah, okay, that's it.